Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I also hope that you enjoyed my video yesterday, which was an interview/chat with Connor from Hedera Starter. Really interesting product, and I do think it could be a key player in the ecosystem's future development, especially as it will be one of the first major projects being launched with the capability of being a launchpad as well as having DAO functionality. I will be talking to other projects similar to Hedera Starter in the future whenever the opportunities arise. So if you enjoy that kind of content and learning a little bit more about the key players in the space, make sure you subscribe to this channel and sort of follow me on Twitter and interact with these videos, because I will be trying to cover as much of that as possible. Anyway, decent chunk of good news for Hedera over the last couple of days that I'm going to cover today. First things first, let's just take a quick look at the general market overview. We can see right off the bat that ANC and Luna have had a fairly decent week. Hbar is trading fairly sideways with the rest of the market, to be honest, slightly down. Said it time and time again, these are the times effectively during sort of not bear markets, but when the fear and greed indexes are showing fear, these are the times really to accumulate if you can. And if that is part of your strategy, you should continue to do so and not be put off by the fact that you are seeing red across the markets. We've seen how quickly things can change. I mean, these are great examples here, Luna and ANC, 50% price movement towards the upside within a week. You know, there is potential for that to happen to other cryptos, for example, Hedera. So anyway, that's enough of that. Let's just sort of jump into the news today. So there's a few different topics I want to cover today. We've got two more use cases for Hedera, another project that's launching, and we've also got another exchange listing, which is fantastic. So the first thing we'll look at quickly is Swissborg. So Swissborg has just added Hedera HashGraph, or the Hbar token. So again, this is just further exposure for retail investment effectively across the globe. They've got a nice little write-up on their website talking about what Hedera is. And we can see here the bottom line being that this speaks to Hedera being architected from the ground up to respond to the needs of new and existing applications operating at scale. The enterprise-grade technology and governance provided by the HashGraph and Hedera Governing Council are proving popular with projects of all sizes, and Hedera is living up to its tagline, the trust layer of the internet. Hello, future. So really nice write-up. I'll leave this in the description, but the bottom line being is that this is just more liquidity for Hedera. Great news. There's another write-up as well over on the NASDAQ. So this was something that Lehman Baird put together and has been republished across the NASDAQ. We're starting to see these large sort of news outlets now covering the token, which is fantastic for publicity as well as exposure, something that we love to see. Again, I'm not going to go through the majority of this because it's stuff that I covered in many videos. However, again, one of the key takeaways being at the bottom, we are only at the beginning of the new Web3 era, and it will soon evolve rapidly to encapsulate entire industries and sectors of the economy. These new forms of conducting business will create fairer, more transparent, and more efficient business processes represented by tokens. With the turn to Web 3.0 and decentralization, everyone will soon have a stake in the token economy. So this article sort of summarizes saying that Web 3.0 is coming and scalability is effectively important for mass adoption. We all know how powerful Hedera is at the scalability piece, especially when we look from the fact that it's been built from the ground up and it has many other sort of lines in its arsenal to deploy if the TPS starts hitting those upper limits, which far exceed any other blockchain technology that currently exists today. So again, some really bullish news. I'll link this article in the description as well for you guys to sort of read at your own leisure. Let's jump into one of the sort of not use cases, but projects that's being built. So 𝗟𝗜𝗦 is powering the metaverse. This is built on Hedera. 𝗟𝗜𝗦 is a base layer for game developers to build NFTs, blockchain functionality, and white label gaming tokens into their games, gaming platforms, and the metaverse. So from my general understanding of this project is that it integrates with existing games effectively to provide the content through an NFT or tokenized or in a tokenized manner. So this is fantastic. If you think of games nowadays, it'd be quite cool or a good use case of Web 3.0. So if we take the example of, say, Fortnite and all the content that you see within those types of games, imagine if all the content that you unlocked within those games was an NFT and it was tradable and you know, it wasn't just locked to the platform. Gaming and other solutions like this are where the metaverse also has use cases. So we can see here they're partnered with several different sort of companies already. You can see Chainlink down here, but obviously one of the key players being Hedera HashGraph, and it's also has ties to the Hbar Foundation, which I've touched on before as kind of being a stamp of approval because they receive grants. It was something that Conor was talking about yesterday with Hedera Starter. You know, they send these applications through to the Hbar Foundation. The Hbar Foundation signs off and ratifies that the project is as intended, and from what they see so far, that it all checks out, and then they give a grant or a cash sum of money effectively to continue the development of the project, as the Hbar Foundation is all about driving forward ecosystem growth and also pushing out the Web 3.0 development that we have just touched on several times. Different features on here as well. So it's going to have its own token, the GMRX utility token. So we can see here 90% of the revenue generated by our game is computational power into our GRMX utility token for our platform, compatible games, and metaverse. One of the strange things about this is the fact that it talks about computational power, which is kind of similar to a proof of work system. We'll see how this continues to develop, but that's not something that's too great, especially with the current conflicts that we're seeing. Energy prices are beginning to soar. You know, oil is hitting all-time highs again, and energy is not cheap at the moment. So these proof of work projects are really going to have a hard time going forward, especially as well as we're seeing, I think it's the European Union, I think it's February the 28th, there's a potential ban coming in place for proof of work blockchain. So we'll see how this develops and whether there's any pivots away from this proof of work idea that they seem to have. Moving on to some of the use cases, the first one that I wanted to touch on out of the two is Hala Systems. So Hala Systems develops advanced solutions for civilian and asset protection before, during, and after conflict. So we can see that the use case has already warned over 2 million people with 140 daily warnings and 250,000 reduction in people facing trauma. So the whole idea of Hala Systems, so Hala Systems is a social enterprise focused on developing effective technology-driven solutions to the world's toughest humanitarian challenges. Hala is currently focused on civilian protection, accountability, and the prevention of violent extremism before, during, and after conflict. Okay, so what's the challenge? The challenge is to allow civilians to report an event in a trusted way. This information must be protected and preserved, allowing third parties and potentially the broader public to trust its integrity. This is crucial. You're probably seeing it at the moment. If you guys are consuming social media, there's obviously a lot of misinformation and propaganda that's being spread in this Ukraine-Russia conflict at the moment, and having trust being integral to the process of reporting current conflicts. Something like Hedera is a use case and a solution, and that's what Hala Systems is aiming to do. So Hala Systems uses the Hedera consensus service to log each piece of media's metadata, thus providing a tamper-proof, cryptographically secure record of evidence, and it cannot be sort of messed with or modified in any other way without the original being secure effectively. So you have this secure copy that you know is the truth because that was what was submitted to the chain effectively. Great use case, and this just goes to show again what I've mentioned so many times on this channel. The number of use cases for Hedera is literally endless. We've seen financial applications to metaverse, to gaming, to humanitarian crises like this. We've got the cybersecurity piece on data hash that I touched on the other day. You've also got, there's just so many different use cases. It's just unfathomable how many projects are being built. There's no other sort of blockchain or DLT at the moment that I'm aware of that has the use cases that are this sort of widely dispersed. If we hop over to their website, we can see they've obviously started putting together what they're capable of doing. So Sentry is Hala's indication and warning system that utilizes a multi-sensor network to generate a credible, real-time situational awareness of threats in the toughest places on Earth. Sentry uses artificial intelligence to instantaneously validate information from multiple sources, allowing stakeholders to detect, identify, and predict threats. Sentry acts as a low-cost, exportable, and locally administratable knowledge platform designed to gather critical data from areas where it is scarce, e.g. war zones, disaster areas, and wilderness, providing an independent and immutable record of events. So effectively, this Sentry system is what gathers all the information and data, and then they are utilizing the Hedera consensus service to make it immutable and sort of set that in stone effectively on the HashGraph system. Really cool use case. If I flick over, the other use case I wanted to touch on here is a healthcare use case. So again, going back to that diversity of different use cases, Safe is a digital healthcare platform used by over 150,000 users at companies and places such as Delta Airlines, Arizona State University, and the Mayo Clinic for patient record management, population health, care automation, digital practice, and more. 2 million transactions already performed on the Hedera mainnet, 150,000 users, and 5+ enterprise customers using Safe Health. The overview being, they have developed a health platform that enables the rapid deployment of specialized health applications that reduce cost and improve outcomes globally. The challenge being the Safe platform needed a scalable and secure way. This is something that we've mentioned so many times on this channel. Hedera has the key to resolve this issue of being scalable and secure at the same time, to prove the authenticity of healthcare data in real time and make it universally available for third parties, such as employers and universities. They needed to preserve patient privacy and meet regulatory compliance. This just goes to show again that in the healthcare world, regulatory compliance is absolutely paramount because you are playing with people's lives and healthcare data. And this just goes to show how precise HashGraph is and can be, and how secure it truly is that it can be incorporated in these healthcare solutions and scenarios. Safe Health Systems is using Hedera HashGraph for patient data authenticity. This increases trust by both patients and customer organizations, leading to greater adoption, retention, and platform usage. So again, another fantastic use case in a different sector. We can see that they're going for this integrated connected care solution, and we could see this continue to get rolled out effectively. So how it works: launch turnkey white label platform, makes it easy and inexpensive to launch custom digital health and connected diagnostic systems. They manage it through intuitive tools for patient record management, population health surveillance, care automation, and digital practice management. And they monetize this by billing and claims processing systems integrated with leading clearinghouses, Medicare, Medicaid, and TRICARE. I'm not going to touch too more on this. Again, I will leave all these sort of links in the description for you guys, but just goes to show the breadth and width of the integration that HashGraph is beginning to see, which is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, guys, that was the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this Hbar update. As I've said numerous times on this channel now, if you're enjoying these videos, please interact with them. Leave a like, drop a comment, share, interact with me over on Twitter. It helps to grow the channel. I will be continuing to publish information that I find on Hedera, as well as other projects that I'm quite fond of, such as Quant and Ripple and Stellar, etc. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers for watching.